Hello, dear ones. Welcome. Welcome. So nice to be together again. Welcome, Octav.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Just opened the room and waiting for the people to come. So I'm so glad that we are together again and we can explore during 1 hour. Today we will be able to stay 1 hour. We will concentrate the exploring. We normally stay 75 minutes, 90 minutes, but today we need to stay only 1 hour, both of us. So yes, this is a space that really makes us both so accomplished. Always when we check out after the room, we are so pleasantly surprised, and we feel so well in our body that really the space is always so touching and so gentle and so wise. So may this happen today as well. So welcome everyone. Octav, I pass it to you for your welcoming message.
Thank you, Claudia. Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here. It's my first English power of listening since we got back after the holiday, the summer holiday. I'm very happy to be here. It's always an honor to share this space with you. I hope that today this space will serve us as it did until now. As Claudia pointed out, we have always felt felt complete, felt good in our bodies after these sessions. So we are inviting the forces of the divine with us today, and hoping that you will join us on stage and just go with the flow. As Claudia mentioned, today we are going to stay 1 hour. So just wanted to say that to everyone. We'll probably need to give a reminder 10 minutes before, but let's not anticipate that much. So thanks again for being here. We are already inviting you to get on stage with us to share yourself. So I guess that now we will do a short connecting. I'm missing my word.
Attunement, yeah.
Attunement, yeah. Right. Thanks.
Thanks, Octav. Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing this approach of letting yourself with the flow. So this is so beautiful. So what I invite you to do right now is, yes, let's connect inside with ourselves, and be it morning or afternoon or evening or night for each of us. So let's enjoy and let's see how does it feel inside this moment of the day, also this moment of our life. It's Sunday. It's such a beautiful day. Each day has its special flavor and energy and wisdom. However, I like Sunday so much. I love this energy of the day of the sun. So let's enjoy it right now in our bodies, and let's feel it in each and every cell, in each and every crystal. And I invite you to launch a question to yourself, to your divine self. Where is the wisdom placed or hidden inside me? And let's leave it so open. Each of us, we may receive some messages right now through some, let's say, somatic signals from the body. Some others may receive through very refined perception, and some others most probably won't receive the answer in the moment, rather afterwards. So where is my wisdom placed, hidden inside me? This energy that is really precious, that is so deep, so deep and so feminine, so receptive. So actually this question may open other questions. Like, how deep can I listen to myself and to the others? How much do I really receive myself and the others? And others questions. Just feel in this moment how the energy of wisdom really speaks in you. And definitely, when we turn our attention outside to connect with the others that are here in this space, we connect from that energy of wisdom that we started to recall. So we start to build intertwined flavors of wisdom that are coming from each of us. So we are like Ariadne, each of us, just weaving this network of energy, of wisdom between us in the field, in the common field, in our common aura. So let's just feel, let's see how it feels. Also, we may open up to receive all the others who are going to come a little bit later or who are going to listen to this afterwards. So this is a very subtle connection, even subtler. So let's breathe into this network of wisdom that we have created. And for sure it will be strengthened along our gathering today and afterwards. And we may take a few more breaths. And just open our eyes and come here and now, and let's open this exploring of the topic. Thank you so much for this co-creation. This space we opened together with Octav, and sometimes we have some guests. Today we are both of us. So we opened this space in order to really practice, to cultivate this quality that we all have. To be a good listener, inner and outer listener, and to also sometimes listen and hold the space, sometimes let ourselves be listened. So to speak with the flow, how Octav said before. And the topic for today that we propose is, how do we listen wisely? What does this mean for you to listen wisely? I will share a bit from my perception. You may enrich it however you feel and you have explored in your life, you have learned in your life as well. So for me, to listen wisely means a balance, means to be able to reach the balance between inner listening and outer listening. So while we are connected with somebody, to be so present and so available and so open and receptive from our feminine energy of the wisdom to the other, but at the same time to be so open and so receptive and so patient with yourself. So where is this balance? How do we reach it? How do we feel it? How does it feel when we reach this balance between listening to the other and listening to ourselves? And I will add one more element that for me was like a synchronicity and actually inspired me and to Octav to propose you this topic. Today, October 2nd, Mercury, dear Mercury, starts to move in a direct way. So he comes back to his comfortable movement. So he stops its retrograde movement. So for many of us, in a playful way, sometimes not so playful, sometimes painful, Mercury has played with us in the last weeks, and together with other planets that were other 5 planets, including Chiron. So there were 6 planets and Chiron 7 actually retrograde. So Mercury really raised to us, or has raised to us, many questions and invitations to notice how do we communicate, to notice how to do this, especially in relationship, because this is a planet who is key. Its energy is key for the relationship. And of course, it's about speaking and also communicating through gestures, so non-verbal speaking that includes listening as well. So it's very interesting that starting today, maybe we will feel a little bit less in inadequacy. So we will start to feel more relaxed. Maybe the communication will start to feel like more balanced, more natural, more authentic. It will be easier. Let's see. And also, Mercury enters in Libra. So Libra is a very open and social archetype. So Libra likes a lot communication. Libra likes a lot the balance, of course. Likes a lot to bring peace in relationship, and also, of course, in relationship with oneself. And this is a beautiful synchronicity to speak about balance between inner and outer communication, and between any other perspectives or elements, feminine, masculine, and what kind of communication, logical, inspirational, especially now when we enter, or Mercury enters in Libra, and when the Sun has just entered in Jinki 48, that is about this transformational path that invites us from the shadow of inadequacy to the gift of resourcefulness and to the city of wisdom. So this is a very deep. This is the deepest life code that we all have. And now in the following 6-7 days, when the Sun will activate this Jinki, will activate in each of us the wisdom that we have, so we may recall it consciously. We may become more and more and more aware where our wisdom is and how do we manifest it. And maybe we may notice in the others with whom we are in a very heartfelt relationship where their wisdom is and how do we exchange this wisdom in relationship through speaking, but also through listening to each other. So this was my introduction. Thank you for listening. Octav, please, if you would like to just add anything that you feel inspired to. And we have Olivia with us on stage. After that, we will listen to her. So curious.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for bringing so much into so little time. Like you said, we will have the session today more more comprised than we did in the past. More compressed, sorry. So it's interesting that you mentioned the 48th Jinki, which comes with the city of wisdom. I remember from Richard's contemplation that he said something like, "Wisdom is not knowing," and I stayed with that for a bit, because it's when you think of wisdom, you think of something that knows. It knows, but it's true. It's what I feel that Richard meant was I think he was speaking about emptying ourselves, to receive the wisdom, and not fixating maybe in what we think we already know, because ultimately wisdom is something beyond us. It's, I don't know, it's like a frequency. It's like an intelligence, universal intelligence maybe, that we from time to time get to access it, maybe get to connect with it. We receive it in ourselves, and I really felt when you did that attunement at the beginning, Claudia. By the way, beautiful attunement. When I asked that question, where do I feel the wisdom? The answer was pretty quick. I received one. A very quick answer was everywhere. I mean, inside my entire body. And I feel that in order to receive it, to be able to access it, I need to put myself in a very spacious and slow state. I'm getting back to what I said earlier. It feels like emptying yourself and filling yourself with space in the same time. It's a bit of a paradox, but this is how I felt it when you asked that question. Yeah, and I think that I can access it when this is how the answer continued, because you asked specifically where in our bodies we're feeling this wisdom. And I guess that I can access it, we can access it with our minds and with our hearts from the physical body, from the two minds, heart and brain and mind. Yes, wisdom. Thank you for listening. If you have anything else to add, Claudia, If not, we will give the stage to Olivia.
Thank you, Octav. Now let's listen to Olivia. So please open your mic, dear.
Hi, sweet people. Oh my goodness. Claudia and Octavian and Tom too and everyone else here. So much that you've already said, Claudia. Um, so in my design, my human design chart, I have 48.1. And so the fact that you brought in balance, many invitations and words, energies that you were speaking this morning, sort of touch and reflect on what my practice and experience is right now. And so I'm bringing a balance into my awareness, into my body, into my practice with my Uranus and 48 and this unconventional, non-traditional celebration, praise and humble honoring of this uniqueness that comes through me. Because I believe, I don't need to label myself, but I feel the understanding, maybe a wisdom of accepting that at times I didn't understand myself as clearly. And that's the beautiful part of, for me, in evolving with Gene Keys and human design, nurturing me to understand my evolution, understand my wounds, understand my pure energy in these different keys, and to reflect back on my different expressions through life and how I experienced myself. And so, wisdom in the belly, and then trauma or trigger or painful response from the belly is what I've been feeling and listening to. And what I've noticed through you all here, through intimate friends, through my own feeling and listening to others in the world, is that I will feel or and hear and feel very connected to me. The energy of the words coming through the body, and how much, say, push or force, natural force or painful force, is coming through the words. And I have so much of that energy in my body, so much, that it's been painful and beautiful reflection to be working with this over the last 3 months, in new ways, through Gene Key's teachings, through what I've learned here, through Claudia, of receiving a more intimate than I was. It's beautiful that I'm clearing my throat, even though it's just the morning time. It's also just that embodied reminder for me of coming into, deep intimacy, paced, slow, balanced intimacy, the way you were speaking of my experience, listening and feeling others, and then my experience receiving those words, that energy inside my body. And it's been a practice for a while in my life, and yet I'm recognizing how much more deeply we'll say, needed to be present, or how much more deeply I wasn't able or ready to be present in the past, and that now I am, so that I feel and hear words of others. And through my breath, I create this, spaciousness to, breathe them in, breathe in the hearing, breathe in the experience, the listening into my body and into my belly, specifically my heart. Yes, but it really feels like it goes down into my belly. I always imagine feeling into my legs too. But noticing that when I've had attachments in the past to beliefs or ways of being that were safe for me or right for me or right for others, that I might have judged or pushed away in some way in my life, that as I'm listening, as I'm breathing that in, I can feel, whether it's a mental recognition of I used to judge that or push that away, and I can re-clarify it with openness now, or whether it's just energy, I can be with it. I can say, oh, this is a trigger space. This is a tender space that's still healing, maybe. This is that wound energy of trauma that is still growing its own clarity, or is still moving in transition through to its non-triggered space, and I can still just breathe, receiving, hearing, listening from whatever I'm experiencing with someone without a need to, and I'm recognizing this was, and this is my understanding of how I experienced, or how I experience energy in the body and triggers and my own trauma, is that when I have an experience or listen or feel something with someone, it will, I'll breathe that in, feel that in, and then it will often go down into my solar plexus and touch, right? Touch on that triggered place, touch on that aspect of wound, of body story that still has something to learn, that still has something to heal and grow through. And then I would attach to it.
See how I took it off? Now they could hear me speak.
Sorry. Hi, Dory. I'll close up, be quick. So breathing that in, I would then in the past, or I'm noticing now not to do this, to attach in my belly, in my body, to that pain place, and then say, oh, this is my attachment. This is my truth that still hurts. Now I have to push this back out in response, in reaction, through my body, through my words. So I'm bringing my awareness to, as much as possible, not doing that, to bring this balanced pace, the way Claudia was speaking of, noticing my inner system that's always in an active healing desire, and bringing that parent for myself to say, oh my goodness, here's an opportunity. I can attach to this triggered space in my belly and respond from this, yeah, whatever, that might be a pushing away or a judgment or something. Or I can breathe in this expanded place that gives love to whatever is true for me, and then chooses a response that's maybe just more listening, that's maybe just more breathing, and that's working with it later for myself. So I really appreciate this beautiful space of teaching, and the wisdom and the teachings of these body mechanisms of Gene Keys and human design and Claudia and the Hara Center and everything that your focus is. And it has nourished me. And you have, Claudia, receiving a reading from you, a Gene Keys reading from you, has brought me back into my body, receiving listening from you, receiving reflection and reminders that weren't about, you need to do this, but were just about your embodiment of this wisdom. Your actualized living love in response to when I was triggered or when I was confused, allowed me because I was in a state of that growth, to receive from you. And so it's really bringing me home to these practices that I've aimed for and never been fully able to anchor into as much as I'm beginning to practice now. So I'm really grateful for all of that. And thank you for listening and hearing me today, everybody. And yeah, so much love to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, Olivia, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much for everything that you shared. And also, I want to thank you for how you shared, for the frequency from which you spoke and you transmitted to us. And thank you for the recognition and for all the mentioning that you did here. I'm really, really so honored and grateful, and also so happy for your openness, for the fact that you opened so much to receive and further to be received. And you have shared many insights and perspectives and ideas, and I would pick up one of them that it touched me profoundly, and was that of really practicing non-attachment to the pain provoked in the body by an experience, by a trauma, that you know it's there, but also somewhere around, so close for sure, it's the wisdom, and also some other high frequency that take care of that pain. So wow, this is so precious, because I may extend it, but not so much time today. Maybe we can speak in some other gathering about this. How shall I call it? Could be attachment, but also I don't know. It's an attraction. It's a magnetism, somehow unconscious, deeply unconscious, of staying in the trauma, including sometimes fighting to stay in the trauma. It's like sometimes it's very close to victimization, and we don't really realize that. But step by step, with the awareness that you also mentioned, we get out of there. We understand that that was our experience in that moment, in that life, or in this life, in that precise moment. I needed to pass through so much pain. But with the awareness, we realize that it's not necessary to stay there so much, to focus so much in that, because some things really, really, they clear, they cleanse uh, with the awareness and with the practice, with the exercise, by staying with higher or highest frequencies. So not necessarily working precisely for years and years and years and years on the same trauma, because thus the life passes and we stay there and we don't get out. So this is a risk. I liked a lot that idea. Thank you so much, Olivia, and for what you shared. And Octave, whatever you'd like to share with us now. And we also have Tom, and I'm also curious to listen to him. Thank you.
I'm gonna give the mic to Tom for now. Thank you. Tom?
Thank you, Octavian. And thank you, Claudia and Olivia. Um, yeah, I give pause as I soak up what Olivia shared and what you shared, Claudia. What in the original creation of what you created in this room, I really got connected in the space of this fullness of feeling within the whole space of me was energized. And as I moved through that, your question or your idea of having were these two different or separate, not separate. How's my listening? Um, yeah, I'm looking for a clarity of my words. And as I feel into that, there's this idea of knowing what's mine and knowing what's somebody else's and letting go of what's mine so that I can receive what's theirs and be with it. And so different words have been used, like discernment, like knowing what's mine, what's theirs. As it occurs to me, my listening, there's the life song that plays for everybody and comes into people. And then there's the translation of that through their body and out their mouth. And it's listening or discerning what the difference is between that. Is if I'm, when I'm attentive, I can hear that difference and then mirror that back to that person. And when they get healing, when they recognize that their healing is my healing. And so then I hear it clearer. And it occurs to me that this might be a jumbled mess. And that's what I'm present to. So thank you for the beautiful room. You got questions, I'm happy to answer them if it didn't make sense. And yeah, I'm grateful to know you. Thank you.
Wow, Tom, that was so deep, really deep. I could feel it in my body. The connection, wow, it's so, so deep. And through your voice as well. So I could feel how really, how to put it in words, how much value the moment has for you. I mean, it's like everything. Oh, so, so, so powerful. So I could not remember even the words that you spoke, but I feel strongly the frequency. So it was maybe, yeah, maybe it was like a balance, between listening and speaking. Wow. You inspired me, Tom, to share one thing while you were speaking. I remembered yesterday all day, I was in a workshop with beautiful people. We were over 30 people, men and women, doing a ceremony that really, it was like the tantra of the heart. It was an explosion of love there, really. There were all kinds of meditations and also sharings, and it was about birthing an ancient future. Very wise. It was like this energy, this wisdom energy was so present, and I was looking at the sun while he was just coming down in the afternoon, and that energy of wisdom, I felt it very strongly in the each and every of the participants. But one of them, this is what I like to share to you all, and you inspired me, Tom. One man who was present there had such a powerful shift inside him. Wow. At the end of the day, he just shared that he used to be like very skeptical or more mental, and he was aware of that, but he liked that somehow. It was his comfort zone. But he said that yesterday he really started to feel, and his last share was about discovering, but feeling in all his body, who is he in the pauses between breaths. And he said, I realize that the full I am is in this pause between breaths. So he inspired me this while you were speaking, Tom. Thank you so much for your share, and thank you for listening.
You're
If you
welcome.
if you have questions for Tom, Olivia, Octave, or if I have questions, I will raise them to you or any of you in the room. If you have questions, you may come just to launch questions. It's not always to share. You may come just to say hello and to ask questions if you feel inspired to, and if you need to launch those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Tom. I also felt I feel like I feel to tell you that the wisdom inside me recognize the wisdom in you. I loved it how you spoke, how you expressed yourself, and I think that I really felt that wisdom is humble when I heard you speak. I was actually asking myself, how do I recognize this is wisdom? And I think this is maybe this is one way. Is it humble, or is it, you know, somehow different? Because if it's humble, it's beyond the ego probably, and it's it's pure. It's interesting that we mentioned today that we'll have a shorter session. So just reminding, I just wanted to bring this up that we're gonna stay about 20 more minutes. So if there's anyone else that wants to come on stage and, like Claudia said, maybe say hi, ask a question, or they want to share something, or you want to share something, please feel free. We are open. Oh, hello, Marenka. And right before I pass the mic to you, I just want to say that it's funny that today, when we said that we'll have a shorter session, I feel I feel I, I, I want to say complete, but it's not complete. I feel like today I'm in a more listening state, in a receiving state. So this seems like to be a lot of alignment between us and, and the field. So thank you for hearing. Thank you for listening to me, Marenka. You have the mic.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. um, Octavian, it was your reflections that kind of stirred up some things in me as you were talking. And then Claudia, when you reflected back on the experience yesterday of the I am, and it kind of brought into my awareness the levels of listening and who's listening to what and who and where, and I could feel it moving through my body, and deeper understanding of my own experience of being able to listen And I've had this week a full experience of having to listen. I live in the part of Florida that we were expecting the hurricane to hit, and we were fortunate enough to not have that. And I had people evacuated from danger zones that spent time with me. And there was a particular person, quote unquote, I was forced to be in the presence of that triggers me, triggers parts of me that I'm not comfortable with. And I had a lot of time to reflect and listen, and very deeply grounded in my own body and my own stirred up emotions, and realizing that whenever things are triggered, I can still tap into the witness. However, the part of me that it's wounded takes priority. So I listen to my own energy being stirred up. And when I'm in that space, I might not have the bandwidth or the energy to tune in to other people because I am fully aware of what is going on and what is stirred up in my own self. And once I give that part of me the full attention and listen deeply without expectation or wanting to change it or make myself wrong for it in any way, it's almost like a little portal opens up. And there is a grace that blesses me. And in the same time, it gives me the wisdom. It's almost like I plug myself into the wisdom. And I can also have understanding and ability to listen to the other one, even though supposedly they are the source of my triggering. And as I see deeper and deeper in that, I love the question that you put, Octavian, because that's what kind of brought me up here. It's how do I know the voice of wisdom? And for me, the way I know for me when wisdom flows through and it's guiding me is that it's always life affirming, and it's always going to give me the perspective of what is good for me as well as everyone else involved. It's never at the expense of any other human experience. It's all encompassing, and it gives me a perspective where I coexist. We all or both belong. There is worthiness for both of us in there. And even though there are differences, we're still lovable. So those are some of the signs for me that I can settle into my body deeply. And there's room in there for opposites to exist. And I kind of threw this spin only through the perspective of being triggered and being in the presence of someone else that's being triggered. But of course, it's expanded in all aspects of life. But it was so prevalent for me this week. And I found it to be transformative compared to how I used to be and how I would have reacted, and how it showed up itself for me now. And a lot of it has to do with, I know, with the work that I have been diving in deeply, through the wisdom of the Gene Keys this year or so. And yes, I think I feel like I need to land it right here where I'm at. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Marinka. That was beautiful. And I felt everything you said. I even felt when you started to talk about your moments of triggering. I I felt the reflection that sometimes we are hard on ourselves for getting triggered. Maybe because we think that we are past that, maybe. But like you said, from time to time, the bandwidth is smaller than we'd hope, and the triggers are being started more easily. So I just want to say that it's okay to be triggered from time to time. It's it's just something that we have to go through to understand ourselves better, maybe, and to learn a better way of expressing ourselves. And I'm saying this because I'm pretty focused on this right now. So thank you for bringing this, Marenka. It's been great hearing what you have to say, because it's like we have a very, very similar process right now. And the question of how do we recognize the wisdom, I don't think that it has an answer that the mind would like to have like 5 bullet points and say you have to do this and this and this. It's something that we probably feel. And I'm gonna have an arc today and go back to what I said in the beginning. It's very much about the spaciousness and slowness, and feeling. Thanks to Tom's moment, feeling the humbleness of that thought, of that information, of that frequency. So thank you for listening to me, and if anyone else has something to add to this, please.
Thank you, Octav, so much, and thank you, Marinka, as well. I like this contemplative energy. I like a lot you, Marinka, just shared in a contemplative